Who benefits most if Pi actually achieves even a fraction of this potential? Congratulations, pioneer, you're sitting on gold. Because Pi is a digital gold mine. What if I told you that a coin sitting in your digital wallet right now, this same coin was designed not just to make a few people wealthy, but to spread that wealth to millions of ordinary people around the world? This sounds impossible, right? But this is exactly what Pi Network is trying to achieve. While Bitcoin became digital gold for the wealthy and early investors, Pi is taking a completely different approach. It's giving away coins for free to millions of people through their mobile phones, building a network that could reshape how we think about money itself. Today, we're going to explore why Pi Network could potentially outperform Bitcoin, how it connects to global wealth distribution principles, and whether that mind-blowing number of $314,000 per coin is just fantasy or a realistic possibility. But before we dive into those massive numbers, we need to understand something fundamental about why Pi is priced so differently from other cryptocurrencies right now. Here's something that confuses a lot of people. Pi Network and XRP both have the same total supply, 100 billion coins. But XRP trades around $2, while Pi trades around 24 cents. Why such a massive difference if they have the same supply? The answer comes down to one key factor: demand and real-world use. XRP has partnerships with major banks and financial institutions. It's being used right now to move money across borders. Companies are actually buying and using XRP for real transactions. That creates genuine demand, which supports its price. Bitcoin is different again. It only has 21 million coins total, making it incredibly scarce. This scarcity, combined with its reputation as digital gold, drives up the price. But here's the catch. Most people can't afford to buy a whole Bitcoin anymore. At prices hovering around $92,000, Bitcoin is out of reach for ordinary people looking to get started in crypto. Now let's talk about BNB, Binance Coin, because this story is really interesting. BNB launched back in 2017 as a simple exchange token, trading for just a few cents. Today, BNB is trading around $900. That's an incredible rise. But here's what matters. BNB didn't just pump on speculation. It grew because people actually used it. BNB had three things working in its favor. First, utility. People needed BNB to pay lower trading fees on Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange. Second, supply management. Binance regularly burns BNB tokens, reducing the total supply and creating scarcity. Third, ecosystem growth. Binance expanded into decentralized finance, apps and services, giving BNB more and more uses. The lesson here? When utility, adoption, and ecosystem growth come together, price can explode quickly. BNB didn't take decades to reach $900. Once the pieces aligned, the growth happened fast, sometimes jumping hundreds of dollars in just a few months. Now let's talk about Pi. Right now, millions of people own Pi coins, but very few are buying them on exchanges. Why? Because most Pi holders got their coins for free by mining on their phones or through referrals. They're holding onto them, waiting to see what happens when the ecosystem fully launches. This creates a unique situation. You have massive distribution, millions of holders, but low buying pressure right now. That's why the price is low today. But this same distribution could become Pi's greatest advantage, and here's why. When you have millions of people already holding a currency, ready to use it, you've solved one of the biggest problems in crypto, getting coins into people's hands. But what does this mass distribution really mean for the future, and how does it connect to something much bigger than just another cryptocurrency? Hello again, Pi Network pioneers. I'm your host, Nathan. Before we dive deep into today's video, let's take a moment to greet and welcome all the amazing pioneers joining us from around the world. Whether you're watching from Nigeria, Papua New Guinea, United States, India, Philippines, Canada, Kenya, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, I'm absolutely thrilled to share this incredible news with you today. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you're always in the loop with the latest Pi Network updates. And don't forget to drop a comment saying Pi Network to the moon, along with your country and flag. Let's fill the comments with pioneer pride and show the world how powerful and united our global community really is. So, let's dive right in. Pi is in a similar situation right now. Millions of people hold coins, the ecosystem is being built, and the moment adoption hits, we could see a rapid price move. Not over decades, but potentially in a very short time. Just like BNB. There's a philosophy that's been discussed for years in financial circles called Nesara and Gesara. Now, whether you believe in these specific proposals or not, the core idea is powerful. Wealth should be distributed more fairly across society, not concentrated in the hands of a few elite investors or institutions. Pi Network, whether intentionally or not, embodies this exact principle. Think about how most cryptocurrencies work. Bitcoin required expensive mining equipment from day one. Ethereum needed technical knowledge and computing power. Early investors bought in cheap, and now those coins are worth fortunes. The average person missed out completely. Pi flipped this model upside down. Anyone with a smartphone can mine Pi for free. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need technical knowledge. You don't even need to invest money up front. This has allowed millions of people in developing countries, people who would never have access to Bitcoin or traditional crypto, to accumulate digital assets. This is wealth distribution in action. Instead of making a few thousand early investors wealthy, Pi is spreading opportunity to millions. People in countries with unstable currencies, limited banking access, or economic challenges now hold a digital asset that could potentially gain value. The vision here is clear. Create a level playing field where everyone, regardless of their economic status, has access to the same opportunity. It's giving people in rural villages the same chance as people in major cities. That's powerful. But mass distribution alone doesn't create value. Having millions of coin holders means nothing if those coins aren't useful. So the real question becomes, what makes Pi different from just another free giveaway token, and how could it actually become valuable? The answer lies in how Pi is designed to be used in everyday life, which brings us to a crucial comparison. Let's be honest about Bitcoin for a moment. It's brilliant as a store of value, as digital gold. If you want to hold wealth long-term or move large amounts of money across borders, Bitcoin works. But for everyday transactions, it has serious limitations. Bitcoin transactions can be slow, taking 10 minutes or more to confirm. Transaction fees can spike to $10, $20, even $50 during busy periods. Imagine paying a $15 fee to buy a $5 coffee. It doesn't work. Bitcoin was never designed for everyday spending, and that's okay. It serves a different purpose. Even at today's price of around $92,000 per coin, Bitcoin remains primarily an investment asset, not everyday money. Most people can't afford to buy even a fraction of a Bitcoin for daily use. Pi Network, on the other hand, is built from the ground up for daily transactions. It's mobile first, meaning it runs on the phone in your pocket. The transaction speed is fast. The fees are minimal or zero. This makes it practical for the things people actually do every day: buying groceries, paying for transportation, sending money to family, paying for services. Now imagine this scenario. You're in a small town and you need to pay someone for fixing your car. With Bitcoin, you'd need to explain how wallets work, wait for confirmations, and possibly pay high fees. With Pi, you open an app on your phone, scan their code, and send payment instantly. It's as easy as sending a text message. This is where mass adoption becomes possible. When something is easy to use, people use it. When people use it, merchants start accepting it. When merchants accept it, more people start using it. This creates a cycle that builds real value. But here's what makes this even more interesting. Millions of people already have Pi in their wallets from mining. They didn't have to buy it. So when the ecosystem fully launches and merchants start accepting Pi, these millions of users already have currency ready to spend. They're not waiting to buy in. They're ready to transact from day one. This is completely different from any other cryptocurrency launch in history. But if all of this is true, why is Pi only 24 cents right now? And where does this crazy number of $314,000 come from? Let's break down this concept called global currency value. The number $314,159 per PiCoin comes from something called global currency value, or GCV. Now, before you dismiss this as hype, let me explain exactly what this number represents and what assumptions it's based on. GCV is a theoretical calculation. It asks this question: if Pi network became a globally adopted currency used for a significant portion of the world's economic transactions, what would each coin be worth based on supply and demand? The calculation works like this. You take the total economic value that Pi would facilitate, meaning all the goods and services bought and sold using Pi globally. Then you divide that by Pi's fixed supply of 100 billion coins. The result gives you a theoretical value per coin. The $314,000 figure assumes massive global adoption. We're talking about Pi being used across multiple countries by hundreds of millions or billions of people for everything from daily purchases to business transactions to international trade. It's the maximum potential value scenario. Now let's be clear, this is not a prediction. This is not a guarantee. This is a theoretical ceiling based on full adoption. It's like saying, if every person on Earth used Pi for half their transactions, this is what the math suggests each coin could be worth. Why is the price so low today then? Because we're nowhere near that level of adoption yet. The Pi ecosystem is still in its early stages. Most merchants don't accept it yet. Most of the coins are still sitting in wallets, not circulating through the economy. The network is building, but it hasn't reached critical mass. Think of it like this. When the internet first started, very few people used it. Early websites had almost no visitors. If you valued internet companies based on their users and revenue in 1995, they'd be worth almost nothing. But people who understood the potential saw what could happen when everyone got online. The same logic applies here. The current low price reflects today's reality: limited adoption, low liquidity, an ecosystem still under development. The GCV number reflects a possible future: global adoption, high usage, an established economic network. The gap between these two numbers is the opportunity, but it's also the risk. Which brings us to a crucial question. Who benefits most if Pi actually achieves even a fraction of this potential? Here's where timing becomes everything. If you've been mining Pi for months or years, you already have coins in your wallet. You didn't pay for them. You earned them just by participating in the network. When adoption increases, you're already positioned. This is completely different from Bitcoin or Ethereum, where you had to buy in with real money. If Bitcoin goes from $30,000 to $60,000, only people who had money to invest benefit. But with Pi, even people with no money to invest have been accumulating coins for free. This creates a unique advantage for early participants. As the network grows, as more merchants accept Pi, as more real-world use cases develop, the coins you've been mining could increase in value organically. You're not hoping for price speculation. You're benefiting from actual network growth and adoption. Network effects amplify this advantage. Every new user makes the network more valuable for existing users. Every new merchant accepting Pi makes your coins more useful. Every app built on the Pi platform gives your coins more utility. It's a compounding effect. But there's another layer to this. When you have coins in hand, ready to use, you can actually participate in the economy being built. You can spend Pi at accepting merchants, you can use Pi-based apps, you can transact with other users. You're not just an investor watching charts. You're an actual participant in a growing economic network. This participation creates real value. When you buy something with Pi, that's a real transaction. When a merchant accepts Pi and uses it to pay suppliers, that's real economic activity. These aren't hypothetical scenarios or white paper promises. This is actual utility building in real time. The pioneers who accumulated Pi early, aren't just hoping for a price pump. They're positioned to participate in and benefit from a potentially massive economic network. But participation only matters if the network actually grows. So what happens when millions of users start transacting daily? Let's explore that final piece. Everything we've talked about so far leads to this moment: mass adoption. This is where theory becomes reality, where potential becomes actual value. When millions of people start using Pi for everyday transactions, something powerful happens with what economists call the velocity of money. Velocity of money means how often currency changes hands. If you earn Pi, spend it at a shop, the shop owner uses it to pay rent, and the landlord uses it to buy supplies, that's high velocity. The same coins are facilitating multiple transactions, creating economic activity. High velocity means the currency is actually working as money. It's not just sitting in wallets hoping to appreciate, it's moving through the economy, enabling trade, facilitating exchanges, creating value with every transaction. This is what separates real currency from speculation. Bitcoin has low velocity. Most Bitcoin sits in wallets as a long-term investment. Pi, if adoption happens, could have high velocity because it's designed for daily use. When currency moves faster through an economy, it creates more economic value with fewer total coins. This is basic economics. Now imagine this at scale: millions of users worldwide making daily transactions. Local businesses accepting Pi. People sending remittances internationally with low fees. Apps and services built entirely on the Pi ecosystem. This creates genuine demand, not speculation demand. People need Pi to transact, not just to invest. This kind of demand is what supports long-term value. When people need a currency to participate in an economy, that currency has real utility. And utility creates sustainable value that doesn't depend on hype or speculation. The Bitcoin network showed us that decentralized currency is possible. Ethereum showed us that blockchain can do more than just currency. Pi is attempting to show us that crypto can actually become everyday money for regular people worldwide. Whether it succeeds or not, the vision is clear: accessible, usable, valuable digital currency for everyone. So here's what we've covered today. Pi Network is attempting something no other cryptocurrency has tried at this scale: distributing coins freely to millions of people while building a usable economic network around them. The current price of 24 cents reflects today's reality of limited adoption and low liquidity. The theoretical GCV of $314,000 represents maximum global adoption potential. Whether Pi reaches that number is unknown. Whether it reaches even 1% of that number is uncertain. What's clear is that millions of people now hold a digital asset that costs them nothing in a network designed for real-world use, with early participants positioned to benefit if adoption grows. The question isn't whether Pi will make everyone rich. The question is whether it can become what it was designed to be: practical, everyday money that works for regular people. Only time will tell if this experiment succeeds. But for early pioneers holding coins in their wallets, the cost of finding out is zero. If you found this breakdown helpful, leave a comment below with your thoughts. Would you actually use Pi for daily transactions if merchants accepted it everywhere? And if you want to understand more about how cryptocurrencies work and where this technology is heading, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching.